So, Meghan Markle lied? According to a flight attendant, yes. And the internet is exploding. The woman who supposedly saw Meghan handing out handwritten thank you notes like a humble duchess is now walking back the entire story, saying she never even saw Meghan on the plane. No photos, no videos, no witnesses. Just a recycled 2016 image and a headline that now feels like one giant PR stunt. And here's where it gets creepy. Insiders claim this entire thing may have been staged by Meghan herself to repair her crumbling public image. From mimicking Princess Diana's thank you notes to suspiciously timed leaks, this isn't just another royal headline. It's a full-blown media illusion unraveling in real time. And the worst part? If this was supposed to make Meghan look good, it backfired spectacularly. Let's break down the lie that's got everyone talking, and what it really says about the state of Meghan's entire brand.
In traveling and commercial disclosing private passenger information on TikTok, no less. But American Airlines' directives on passenger identities is ironclad. So unless this was carefully planned and confirmed as a PR stunt, the flight attendant in question 100% knows she's getting fired.
Let's start with what was supposed to be Meghan's feel-good comeback moment. A glowing Page 6 article claims she skipped the private jet, flew commercial like a regular person, and handed out handwritten notes to the flight crew. Sounds like a scene from a Hallmark movie, right? Except, none of it adds up. The flight attendant quoted in the story, "Yeah, she just told a French outlet she never even saw Meghan on the plane. Not once. No selfies. No blurry photos. No fan videos. Nothing. Just a mysterious note no one can prove even existed." Meghan Markle, not to be confused with Meghan Sussex, apparently boarded a commercial flight and magically became invisible. Not even Harry Potter's cloak could pull that off. Now here's where it gets extra suspicious. Insiders say Meghan may have staged this whole thing, the flight, the note, the story, all carefully planned to make her seem relatable. But instead of inspiring headlines, she's now being called out for trying to copy Princess Diana's iconic handwritten notes. That's right, the People's Princess wrote real thank you letters. Meghan? She allegedly handed a stranger a note and said, "Tell the world I'm sweet." Meghan Markle, the queen of I don't know what this means, but I'm going to say it anyway. If this was a PR win, it turned into a PR faceplant. The internet's not buying it, and honestly, it's hard to blame them. Here's the part that truly breaks the illusion. Where's the proof? We're talking about Meghan Markle, a woman who can't grab coffee without paparazzi, coincidentally, appearing from behind a bush. And yet, she supposedly boarded a commercial flight, interacted with crew members, and wrote handwritten notes, with zero visual evidence? Not a single selfie, no TikTok from a fellow passenger, not even a blurry TSA hallway shot? Come on, this isn't 1993. If Meghan really flew coach, there'd be 10 angles of her adjusting her neck pillow before takeoff. Even weirder, Page 6 used a photo of Meghan from 2016, an entirely different flight, different airport, and oh yeah, no disclaimer. Just tossed in like readers wouldn't notice. But the internet did notice. People are furious, calling it media gaslighting. And honestly, they're not wrong. This feels less like journalism and more like an Instagram filter slapped on a broken lens. And let's talk about the flight attendant for a second. First, she's all smiles talking about Meghan's perfect nails and glowing energy. Then suddenly, total silence. She's walking back everything, reportedly telling French contacts she never saw Meghan, never spoke to her, and regrets ever opening her mouth. Probably didn't expect the story to get ripped apart like a bad script on Rotten Tomatoes. The real question now, was she set up to play a part in Meghan's latest relatable Duchess performance? Let's be real, this Meghan Flies commercial story didn't just fall from the sky. It landed right when Meghan needed a distraction the most. Her podcast flopped. Her Netflix shows barely made a ripple. Public interest? Let's just say, Arctic. Then suddenly boom. A heartwarming tale of a duchess handing out thank you notes mid-flight appears like royal magic. It's almost too convenient. Like when your phone randomly dies the second your friend asks for proof you saw Beyoncé at the gas station. And yet, this was supposed to be Meghan's redemption arc, the moment that made people say, wow, she's just like us. But instead of admiration, it triggered an avalanche of eye rolls. Why? Because it's not the first time. Meghan has a long track record of coincidences that somehow always favor her image. Remember when paparazzi caught her unexpectedly at a dog rescue center in the middle of nowhere? Or when she claimed to be hounded by the press in New York, only for it to be revealed her team tipped off the photographers? This story feels like more of the same. The recycled PR playbook, the emotional bait, the perfectly timed leak. But this time, people aren't falling for it. Not even her old defenders. Even they're starting to ask the hard questions, like why she keeps repeating the same publicity stunts and why even a flight has to be turned into a staged, moral performance. At this point, it's less relatable Duchess and more royal rerun. Here's where things start getting really uncomfortable. Meghan's obsession with Princess Diana isn't new, but this handwritten note saga might be the boldest mimic yet. Diana was adored for her genuine, heartfelt letters. She'd write elegant thank you cards, speak softly to strangers, and leave lasting impressions without a camera in sight. Meghan allegedly hands a stranger a note and essentially says, "Tell the world I'm nice." That's not elegance, that's cosplay. And it doesn't stop there. Meghan's wardrobe, often eerily similar to Diana's. Her poses, almost frame-for-frame recreations. And now, this so-called humble plane ride, it screams PR choreography. It's like she's trying to collect emotional brownie points using Diana's legacy as a blueprint. But there's a big difference. Diana didn't need to stage relatability. She was relatable. Meghan's constant need to force these comparisons only makes her look more disconnected from reality. And let's not forget, this story wasn't just soft and sweet. It had weird, cringy moments too. Like the flight attendant supposedly complimenting Meghan's nails, which, if you know anything about airline grooming standards, is actually a red flag. Long nails are not practical or allowed in most flight crew roles. So either this flight attendant broke protocol just to fangirl over Meghan, or the whole thing is pure fiction wrapped in glitter. Now this is where the PR script completely falls apart. Meghan's story paints a picture of a woman flying solo, doing it all on her own. But wait, where's Harry? If she's so grounded and relatable, why isn't he ever part of these feel-good tales? No mention of him at the airport. No sight of him on the flight. Nothing. It's almost as if these stories are carefully designed to separate her from him, not highlight their bond. And that opens up a can of royal worms. Because if Meghan's traveling solo and Harry's supposedly living part-time in another city, who's watching the kids? That awkward Drew Barrymore interview where Meghan said she reads bedtime stories to her kids via email, yes email, only added fuel to the speculation fire. What parent does that unless they're rarely with the kids to begin with? Even fans are starting to ask, are Meghan and Harry even still functioning as a couple? Why are so many of these stories Meghan only? And why does each one feel like it's been run through 5 filters before it hits the media? These aren't just minor PR fails, they're narrative cracks. Big ones. The kind you can't fix with handwritten notes or soft lighting. Something's off. And no matter how many old photos they reuse or quotes they retract, the public is picking up on it. Let's talk about just how lazy this PR stunt really was. We've seen this storyline before, Meghan, the humble Duchess, doing regular things like shopping at Target or hiking with bodyguards pretending not to see the cameras. This whole commercial flight narrative? Just a dusty rerun with a new headline. Except this time, they didn't even bother getting fresh photos. Page 6 ran an image from 2016 and tried to pass it off like it was brand new. No label, no date, just a silent hope that the public wouldn't notice. Spoiler alert, we noticed. The internet shredded the story in hours. Reddit threads, TikToks, YouTube reactions. People started connecting dots faster than Meghan's PR team could delete tweets. There was no trail, no airport worker confirming the sighting, no TSA footage, no gateside photo, no in-flight selfie from a fan. Meghan Markle doesn't just disappear. Even when she wants privacy, her team somehow manages to alert photographers like clockwork. But this time, radio silence. That silence speaks volumes. And then there's the so-called flight attendant, the only witness. She's now ghosting the story harder than Netflix ghosted Meghan's animated series. Reportedly, she's telling French media she never saw Meghan and wishes she never got involved. If this were real, the details would be piling up. Instead, all we have is a shaky quote, a recycled image, and a growing crowd of people wondering just how many times Meghan's going to replay the same PR movie before the audience walks out. Here's the real issue. Meghan's brand was built on being misunderstood, misjudged, and mistreated. But lately, it's starting to look more like it's built on manipulation. Every media appearance feels choreographed. Every candid moment looks like it came straight from a Pinterest board labeled relatable royalty. And every time the narrative gets questioned, silence, or backtracking, it's not just the haters calling it out anymore. Even her past supporters are side-eyeing her. People are asking why everything feels so scripted. Why even a flight needs a plotline, a set piece, and a conveniently timed leak. And why stories that should be simple, like a mom traveling, suddenly raise questions about her marriage, her children, her intention. When the curtain keeps getting pulled back this easily, you stop believing the show entirely. And let's be clear, this isn't about criticizing a woman for flying. It's about being fed a fantasy that falls apart under even basic scrutiny. A fantasy designed to rewrite public opinion, while avoiding accountability. Meghan might still think she's controlling the narrative, but the audience has changed. They're sharper, louder, and they've had enough of the filters, flashbacks, and fiction. The illusion is cracking. And this time, the damage might be permanent. Let's dig into the why. Why would Meghan and her team push a story this weak, this sloppy, and this obviously fake? Because in PR, perception is everything. And Meghan's current perception? Let's just say, it's circling the drain. Between the failed Spotify deal, the disappearing Netflix buzz, and Harry looking like a side character in his own marriage, Meghan's public image is in serious need of a glow-up. So what's the strategy? Drop a soft, viral headline, Meghan flies commercial, writes notes, she's just like us, and count on people not checking the details. The goal isn't truth. The goal is impression. Get that feel-good phrase circulating, let it hit Twitter, TikTok, and tabloids. By the time it's debunked, the emotional impact is already made. Job done. But this strategy only works if the illusion holds. And here's the kicker, it didn't. It shattered on impact. The timeline didn't add up. The visuals were recycled. The one witness backed out. It's like trying to sell a fake designer bag with the logo stitched upside down. No one's buying it. Even casual observers are saying, wait, what is this? The story was supposed to warm hearts, not raise eyebrows. Instead of making Meghan look authentic, it made her look desperate. This isn't just a PR fail. It's a trust issue. And once the public feels played, they don't just walk away, they start digging. And that's exactly what's happening now. This fake flight fiasco didn't just backfire, it exposed something deeper. Meghan's entire public image is starting to look like a house of cards. Carefully curated, heavily managed, and dangerously close to collapse. It's no longer just about whether she was on a plane. It's about the pattern, the constant overproduction, the emotional bait, the suspicious timing. And now, even her loyal fans are whispering, is anything she says real? And let's not pretend the Meghan-Harry brand is as united as it used to be. This entire story conveniently leaves Harry out. No mention of where he was. No effort to connect him to the wholesome image being crafted. It almost feels like a soft rebrand. Meghan going solo, spotlight front and center, minus the spare. Rumors are already swirling that he spends increasing time away from her. And this story does nothing to kill those rumors. If anything, it feeds them. Then there's the question nobody wants to say out loud, the kids. If Meghan's traveling, and Harry's elsewhere, who's with the children? Her email bedtime storyline isn't winning hearts, it's raising eyebrows. Add in that bizarre Drew Barrymore interview where Meghan awkwardly says whoever's with them or pop, and the whole thing feels detached, cold, scripted. In the end, this isn't about one bad article. It's about the cracks in the entire narrative. The motherhood, the marriage, the media manipulation. One fake flight just exposed a real problem. The public doesn't trust Meghan anymore. And unless something truly authentic comes next, not handwritten notes, not PR stunts, not staged candid shots, that trust may be impossible to win back. So what started as a sweet little headline turned into a full-blown unraveling of Meghan's media machine. One invisible flight, one vanishing witness, and now an entire image in freefall. The Duchess who wanted to look down to earth might have just buried her credibility 6 feet under. But hey, maybe next time, she'll board a flight that doesn't vanish into thin air. And if you think this story is wild, just wait until you hear what Meghan's planning next. We'll break that down in another video. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.